I do really enjoy putting priority on the raise nade, especially when you're
Split
retaking.
Is always a banger, right? That's what they say. Crew on defense, loud on attack. Oh my goodness.
Very high rate of effect, and that's going to be a push right towards the A orb. They're past it already from the side.
I said Kesnet has to do a lot when he's the solo duelist on a jet, and this is a great start. And no overheat. Oh, that's lovely to see.
Who needs double satchel? You could just hold W and use a dash to escape.
Why not?
But that is also because of the.
It is an over rotate right now.
Is easier for you to run up to get the kills as soon as the bears come up, and Kesnet's looking for the ace.
Crowd's already in it.
Yeah, and we're chilling, dude. With stickers of 3, no overheat from Kesnet again. Great sign. And I was watching his player cam. He was calling this the whole time.
I say, wait here, family photo if he tries to push.
Plan would be good here for Vinny for sure. And he's going to stick to it.
Yeah.
Gamble, nobody's coming towards the spawn. He hears a rotate from heaven.
A quick peek.
Ooh.
Shy down.
Wait a minute.
Really nice, man. It's a big start from Kesnet. He's going to get his knives real early. Yeah. I mean, it's one way to go big on this. Has to happen in this comp.
And be sure to be following iBuyPower on the socials so you can hashtag unlock your ace.
This is a nice little.
It's only natural that we get to cast.
This is a nice little push on this.
And then get another ace here with iBuyPower. Yeah. But that's it. It almost feels like Vinny's like, hey, let me.
Would it be balanced if Teo only refreshed one missile at a time?
Get their own PC. Let me just run out in the open against Vinny here. Although joking aside,
yeah, maybe if you lowered the cooldown and you did that, and then you have to work out if you're doing like. I kind of like that idea. That's pretty cool.
How good Crew's been on the
so that you could regen and have 4 in a round, but then you're like punished for doing 2 at the beginning. Dude, honestly, that's a really good idea. It's one of the best enough ideas I've heard for a Teo. Because then you're really like, should I be using 1 for a default here? Wait, that's a great idea, man.
Just from 2 rounds, you
I
can
really
already
like that.
tell. It's hard here for Kesnet
You actually put some forward onto an agent that
really
has
run
no
down
forward.
towards middle with the double initiator util when you have crossfire set up towards the bottom middle on the attack. So for him to continue to play towards the A side, and you can leverage Mazzino with fault lines across the map from A to help middle.
Guys, you're against Nico. Why are you double pushing or checking corners over towards A?
Making sure here that Kesnet continues to find his groove. Now back at the jet in this tiebreaker map. Tui's unfortunately. Oh my God! Cast a curse.
No way!
Cast a curse.
Tui's just got that kill on Kesnet.
Guys, why have you done this? This is a criminal round. One of them was a phantom.
And he forces to rotate instantly and look at Loud. They went for the fake to meet up with everybody towards the sewers, and then just goes back towards the B-side plant. And now they have numbers advantage with pistols and also a phantom upgrade late lurk by Tui's.
We saw Tui's everywhere on Haven behind the side of Crew, but Loud just wasn't able to act on his flanks, on his lurks. Now he's just making it happen himself here. A 3rd kill on the round, and we're going to see another ace, Fanstilly, as they are just cleaning up the members of Crew.
At 10 HP, I don't think so, but at least the players are
okay. That's going to get wild. And they got an omen so they can smoke the spike itself, so it's going to be a little bit rough. Might come down to Tui's, or it's not a good plan. This guy's just stick in this. Oh boy, it's going to get weird.
Melzer with half and has a chance to look around. The time is there to get a second defuse on. Gives away himself with the sound of the bulldog. Fakes the defuse, but the salvos quickly keep him off, and that's going to be the timer rundown. I think this one goes in favor.
Really nice in the end. I like what Averso did though. It got it half and then tapped it again to like create pressure, so they heard that it was half. Where the hell's my red cards, man? It's the red card. This is a red card right here. That's crazy. Against a full eco, you get greedy and you push, and you give him guns, give him 2 guns.
Some sort of lurk in that because of the double initiator. There's been some much later lurks coming out from the Vipers and the Omens and the Ciphers and the Astras of the world. So that is going to be very costly for Crew. Lethal Blade Storm's up for Kesnet.
Has been a powerhouse for the side of Crew still. even in the 1-round loss in the first round, just showing you how much they're focusing on some of these orbs and getting the early kills at 4K.
Crew are gonna repeal the red card, bro. The red card will stand no matter what.
The last few. We'll see if that Blade Storm comes into effect. They tried a very
get a match ban if anything.
Here with fault line onto A. And now Loud knows they have
BZJ, thank you so much for the prime. Thank you for the 3 months.
Again. And Crew would do it all over.
Dude, that was nuts, man.
Thrown out by Kawadzin to start with this drone.
The red cards always come out the most against anti-ecos. Have you noticed that?
And for Loud, they don't have enough to try to work back towards this middle because of potentially this wall pulled up by Shy. They're trying to cycle a lot of smokes and the walls to cover up Heaven, cover up towards middle, and also give them potentially even an opportunity to push out and fight down towards middle.
Even this is like...
This wall, though, for Pencata to activate.
Okay, you gave him a gun.
And deactivate it.
Still towards the other
Teams
side.
kill me in anti-ecos,
This is going to have to be
dude.
a scramble now. Do they pick up this weapon? Yeah, okay. Melzer has the Phantom. See how they position this. 3 towards Heaven. Expect that Phantom maybe go down towards screens if they want to split it. But Crew is going to try to find Loud before they get into sight and see what extremity kills they can get first.
Whoa, nice shots though. Wait, play nice shots.
There to help with the 3 kill.
Okay, you made me feel a little bit better about this round, just because you kind of cleaned it up. Dude, I want to erase the 2 rounds from my mind,
small
though.
mistake, but understandable here from Crew's side. Boom. Tried to throw the salvos down to delay the plant even more, but because of the sound cue of where the spike was planted, it seems as though
Quick? No, the aim here was quick.
At a safe spot behind the wall on default.
Dude, why are these bunnies still fighting? For God's sake, Jack,
So it becomes an easier plant for the attack, and you're forcing Crew to play a retake instead of the flood retake pre-plant that they've had good successes in on Haven before.
All the weapons easily upgraded for those that were alive there. We see Kawadzin grabbing what Melzer had as a Phantom at the end, so still great.
The show the bunnies, dude, they're just one's just chasing the other non-stop, man.
So they are doing a little info sourcing as they get onto the map, but it looks like Crew is happy to meet him here at Vent and
okay, 5v buy. I can't get that mad at a 5v buy, surely.
A little change of pace in positioning for Loud as well. Might have to hold that thought though, because their first fault line potentially could engage a fight from Crew. But yeah, the tail
drone
is
for
actually
drone over
towards
towards
the A
A,
side with the Viper
but didn't fully
potentially stop like the early aggression from Crew's side.
Clear the question marks. There is a lot of pressure.
To assist here on Digizine's map control attempt.
Oh, no way he got that kill as well.
I think knew he was going to commit, but didn't
There's
expect
no way
to
you
see that
W
much
key
standing
forward.
in front of him, just
Oh
right in the
my
middle
god.
of the alt orb.
This whole server, they've turned mad. Everyone has turned mad.
A little reckless on that one, thinking it was going to be clear for a little bit longer, I think.
If he gets his 3rd kill, unfortunately not. That might have to force Loud to activate towards this B site, but nobody rotated yet from the defender side.
30 seconds left.
Oh, the flash. Nicely played, but it actually didn't cut the corner enough to get in the eyes of Crew.
Oh, I was shy on that Joel.
Mate,
what is going on this round?
Still had
Crazy.
Mazzino for safety, but it's not even needed, and it looks like it's going to be a slugfest here, Van Silly. It is going to be a bloody one, as the dash said. Kills everywhere and resulting now in a 2-2.
And Split is just a normal map here that Brazilian teams love to play. I mean, if you're just looking at Crew themselves, White was mentioning on the desk how
That's a big
it's
crouch
almost
to save him.
playground compared to what Bind could have been here in 2025 for them. And I do agree with them, but at the same time, their kickoff results.
Okay, bit of normality maybe. We've got a really important round. Really important rounds.
And they played all the Brazilian teams.
We should see a lot of stuff that makes sense.
2G, Furia, and Loud.
I like
and
this
now it's a
from Crew.
rematch against Loud on
Aggro control the smoke. I don't think we need to do this, but as in play behind it.
Interested
But
to see why Crew is putting so much pressure, even in just Melzer here at A alt orb, making sure that the flank, making sure Viper isn't as useful, as it is Loud work in the left side of the map here.
Yeah. Bren was mentioning that they had to be a little bit more active. They were able to do a little bit
where's
here
the
with
Viper smoke right now in defense?
on Cypher on that previous map. Did so on this map on the previous round.
Is it here and
But
they doubling
unfortunately,
up
it's just the
smoke?
next step behind that. That's still lacking here from Loud.
Whoa.
Thinking that the lurks could actually pull out the rotate so they could potentially hit the weak side. But they still
Palm
walk
is
into
smoking
these
this and
stacks.
play close judge. Oh, I like this.
Melzer on a sliver of health here. They're getting quite a bit of focus. They know more util has come through, so the Loud wants to go to C here, seeing all that pressure today.
And finally,
He's a
the map
lunatic, isn't
fully
he?
works out for Loud. They have
great
chosen the
stun.
weak side.
Mazzino, hasn't it? Playing the high-low. Beautiful job on the entry, though. It looks like it was Dizzy trying to get in a little too early, and Pancada
Bro, that
cleaning up
is...
three immediately as he found some
That's
low
impressive.
health
Fair
bars here.
play.
And rotation is going to be huge as well from Vinny because he might just hear
Dude, crew playing so confident.
Well, yeah, he will. I was going to say Vinny.
Killing him a
At least
little
we'll
bit.
give information on the last few players. For the last two players,
Had
where
no
Verso will be
info
rotating
over
from, but that
towards
said,
middle,
they
so
chose
wanted
the
to
weak side
double
of
while
that
triple
site
swing
to
B
hit, of the
main.
map to hit
Yeah.
over on B for Loud.
Yeah.
The weak side doesn't mean weak players. You still have these two players on the side of Mazzino and Kesnet.
Right, that first shot is
such a
lovely.
good job holding the first wave, but then Pancada has his own spray transfer. Where three players just ran into him. He did have support behind him to get those 3 kills.
Yeah. Yeah, in the moment, I wonder what utility was there. Usually, you're fine with dry peeking 3 at different levels, but still, Pancada's going to be fine with it as well. A flash.
Okay, that was the big round that forced him down to an eco. So
And
Loud in a really good spot and
Wrecks
Loud
the
as
economy
well.
of Crew.
Not only ult wise, but like money wise, they're really
First
ahead.
lockdown mid, followed by utility.
It's going to be pretty hard for Crew at the moment.
Let
Should be a
Loud
good
know
half
that
a
they've
round.
added that aggression very early. And Crew decides to fall back because this calls for fast rotates, especially when the Viper is able to delay with the Viper Orb. So Shy does a good job. Loud just going for the re-hit right after.
Shy delay.
Yeah,
Orb up
just
as
trying to act
well.
big over
Nicely
towards
done
B
here. They
side.
kind of allowed the fight to come through last time and took it as it hit. So here they just want to give Loud.
I mean,
a
you
bit
got to
more
see the
trouble and delay.
Viper
4 for
smoke
Crew
there
over
and
towards
feel
A
like
on
you
this
can go
save,
middle
so
maybe, but
they think they're playing
maybe they don't
off
want to
for
go
what is
middle
a
against
fake hit.
Nico.
That's 2 gambles now for Crew. The first one is, hey, we're making noise down towards middle.
Oh, they got.
But
I
then
tell you
we're
what,
rotating back
Crew will
towards the
take
east
this.
side.
Couple of
Shy
ults
stops the
out
B
on an
side,
eco.
And then they're full gambling that there's
Once
gonna
Vinny
be an
gets his
A-side hit.
plant, he gets an ult as
It
well.
looks like a lot was invested for Loud to get the round, but hitting the round is important.
Respect the Crew. I mean, they're going to usually have something that can actually turn the rounds, as we've seen throughout this series already. So Loud really can't leave anything up to chance. I like the ults being used, and they will have a pretty safe plant. They're chasing a little bit on these kills. Adverso is going to tag back on that, or tag back on that one.
Tui's lurking, flanking with an outlaw.
He's been loving it lately. We've seen a lot of the team kills
Imi,
come up
hello
as well,
Imi,
using
congrats
both in the
dude,
chamber.
nice win. Your map pool looks kind of nice. I know it's
Go out
early,
for maybe another
but I was saying
exit
that the
they
map
can
pool's looking
surely
kind of
get.
nice for you, Ali.
Or just die to the spike here.
Enemy remaining.
Trying a little bit of both. All right, there's one.
I liked your defense on Pearl,
Kesnet will not
by
be
the
able
way.
to save that Vandal.
Like,
Good
really
damage being
liked
done
it.
on an eco from Crew. But that said, as we've mentioned on the previous round, that there was heavy investments in ults for Pancada's Cosmic Divide and Digizine's Showstopper. It just makes sense because you've also cycled now 3 ults to carry over
Yeah,
into the
rough-
next rounds, right? So you
rough
could
starts,
definitely have
Crew.
another big round to reset the
They got a
econ
lot to go up
of
against. The
Crew
good
for a
news there is they
second
got 2
time.
ults out of
Just
them. Bad
depending
news
here
is
what
they
you
got
wanna do.
Breach or
I think Loud have
maybe
to
even
have
Teo
found
all
out
to go up
already
against.
that bottom left side of C either only has Melzer or has no one, and they have to work and look up towards B and Hell once they enter the site. I should say B Heaven. So a lot of the time
He is having force off the map one, I mean, maybe.
Digizine into new box and the rest of the team flows through.
I thought
That has
NRG
been
played
really successful at B.
pretty nice on
Adam
that
getting in
map
their ear
though.
now here in a timeout at round 7.
I was leading the charge,
See if
actually,
he can
that's
stop
true,
the
yeah,
bleeding.
that is true. Bacon's not wrong there.
As you mentioned, the ults that Loud carries over. There was a Viper's Pit that I saw here from Dewey's. Vinny still had his Rolling Thunder, and assuming now that Pinkon and Digizine use theirs, then it's probably the Armageddon for Kawadzine. So 3 on their side. We'll have to see what Crew has, though, to answer back after this timeout. Looks like an Armageddon for Adverso. And that could actually be a good point here in terms of the ult economy, in terms of what you could exchange. Because I feel
EMEA
now
picking
that if you
video?
wanna
I
continue
mean,
to
the game's
cycle
not
ults
until
for
like
Loud,
Wednesday,
you
so I'll do
probably
it on
wanna
like
go for a
Monday,
big Rolling
Tuesday.
Thunder to get the pit in. But the Armageddon to reply back could deny that pit and allow Crew to flood back a little bit better. in their attempt for the pulse plant.
Who do you think will be the best team at Ascent in Americas? Man, I have no idea. Who's good at it in the past?
Loud, that is, leaving Tui's on the
G2
right.
might be okay at it.
We've seen quite a few times Cowanzine's
I
over
don't
there
know,
for
man.
the initial part of the round.
Whoever decides to do Teo, Deadlock,
Melzer has
Vice,
pushed this. If
Omen,
Melzer's not in B, they love to take this
Yoru.
area.
I've lost track of who I am.
Loud is moving, but they
Teo.
haven't come out with successful attack.
Teo,
I wonder if
Vice,
they're gonna try
Deadlock,
to
Omen,
maybe
Yoru.
Boomba
Whoever
or
does
maybe
that
get a
comp will be
little
the
bit more
best.
ground for Decisive
That's
up
my
towards
bet.
this because if they do, that's a full-line Armageddon to take control of B Heaven. Already they're pushing through that smoke, but there's no retaliation coming out from KRU, so looks like they'll hold back on the middle control.
Okay. And they know it's a push. That means vents open. You still have Astra as well, and that's going to be Pancata coming back around. He might actually get a noise on Teo, on Adverso when he comes back to the site here. Really great positioning for the audio cues to come through. It's Loud feel comfortable. C1 at screen. And
Yeah,
sight is
no idea. There's a free
probably
sight, and we're
moved.
going to see a really weird duel.
They're
And
still gonna go ahead and all
Pancata.
screens, yeah, knowing they can focus sight for the
No,
fight.
it's so unlucky. But he might see the missiles fly by him. Oh, okay, it's
going to be able to get a big backstab unless Pancata turns over.
Oh, goes over towards sight. Oh, goes.
They should
Oi,
be applied
shy,
no matter
my
what, and now you've
guy.
exhausted the amounts of ults available with the exception of...
I was watching that on the mini map.
Yeah, that. No chance for KRU to really set up here for the retake.
We'll get a replay of it. You'll see why.
Probably getting a few
You'll see why I
if he
reacted
can
like
get the
that.
hits in, but
Dude, he just mistimed the
all
ult.
eyes are going to be on as he comes around to the left side. Nice job by Loud working the early portion of this map as a default, figuring out that they can get a kill on these KRU pushes. Melzer or someone is always pushing from an extremity here, and Loud is able to get some successful first bloods to make those 5v4 conversions.
And KRU, sorry, at the beginning of this round have been doing very good of the A site control and continues to do so here.
Yeah.
That said, though, what's lacking is a little bit of information towards the middle,
Dude,
towards the B.
look at this
More
replay.
reactive on Shy or Kesnet jump spotting towards that B site, but I like to think here with a double initiator play, you could get some good map control in the very beginning of these rounds.
Oh, they didn't show it?
Of the A
Oh, he's
site.
doing absolutely
Because
saved.
at the very, now that we're looking here,
Most
on
people are gonna
how
have
these
no
rounds
idea.
have panned out for
Much of a
Loud,
blunder he just
they
made.
haven't added too much early aggression for their side on A.
No, they haven't. They're kind of just waiting to see what the aggression is from KRU, if they're going to get antsy, if they're going to push. And KRU is doing that on their own, especially on the
The
save
NA
rounds.
replay, yeah.
But on the-
Dude, it
on
was
the
an ult
buy
like
rounds, It
this.
just takes a little bit longer, and you usually will see a
From
peak.
left to right, and he just stood in the middle of it.
B
From
here,
here as the rest of his
Kesnet is
team
gonna be
waited.
focusing on the orb.
He
Blazes
legit
up.
waited for it to
Nice
go
protection
down
by
and
the
then went
team as they
into
go
it.
back to formulate what the defense can flow out to. I think that's actually a read by Loud. That was
It's a
an orb grab
great
and then a
flash.
push.
It was an incredible flash. Dude, Vinny just dumps his util.
Yep.
I watched a lot of it from Vinny every time he's on Breach, and it is just a util dump for DG Zin to enter. It looks nice to be DG Zin.
In this rotation, they don't even have Pancata towards the site yet, but it's a great look from Melzer to know that long lurk could still be there with the speed of the round.
And that's a weapon pickup. So you're now looking at Blade
Yeah,
Storm,
but it
2
still should be
rifles,
so fine
and
for
a Stinger
Loud.
to retake. So the pit is actually a great decision from Loud in hindsight.
They're going to be able to throw themselves in. This pit's going to get them a little bit more closer, too. They might be able to enter at the same time and create some chaos. A lot of pressure on DG here to find somebody. Melzer, could he get another one of the flanks down? It would be incredible.
This is chaos.
And there it is. Melzer does find another one. This is going to be huge for the team. Shy picks
Wait,
up
this is
another.
chaos.
Absolutely wiping out Loud. Oh, that's going to be
Time?
Tui's, however.
Not
Coming
enough
back
time on
through.
this.
No time in the
At
end. It's
least a
stretching
little
just
bit of
far
damage done for
Melzer
KRU,
scooches
but
into
just
safety
feel like
as Red
the
Bull
score
clutch
from Loud's
comes
getting
through
really
and
high
Loud
here.
are able to take the round.
And thankfully that Tui's was still alive. The point of that positioning of how they played that pulse plant wasn't going to delay with the double initiator. I was scratching my head as to why they would actually pull out the Cowanzine salvo so early, but he was basically in a small pocket of that pit. If he's going to pull out, they know exactly he's going to be there. They could already spray him, so he's going to give his position away. So at least now that Tui's stays alive
Yeah,
from
big change
screens,
up.
he can run back and get
Kesnet
his kills.
gets
I
the
mean, it
up
was
out.
a high risky play, but they made it happen.
Operator out now for Kesnet.
Oh, yeah,
Speed is
that's
up here
that.
for Mailroom, and
That
Decisive's gonna go
savage
down
stun.
immediately as they trade. Just towards that smoke, shot through the vents is how it went down. We still have the
Yeah,
operator
and we
holding
got
the A line, so you
Kessen's
can
holding the
bet
whole
rest of
line over
crew is
towards
focused
A.
on this mid B
Dude,
side.
Gauzen's gonna drone him off though.
because
This
it's
might
the
actually
first
put the
time that
rotate
Shy
out.
was really trying to
I
set up a
mean,
little
they
bit
can
more
head over
aggressively
towards B site.
Sven, so
It's
that
looking like a good round from
I
Loud.
think he had that pit up before he died. So they probably wanted to
He's gonna
control
drone
that
this
so
though,
they could
right? Oh god.
work towards the extremities. Off in
That's
the hands of
wild
Kesnet, now
timing.
potentially could get spotted by the drone.
He was gonna walk
That's
into
so
it.
good. They continuously have somebody lurking on and off the Viper wall. Before, when it was at B, they had Pancata lurking on it when it went up and down, and now they can totally fake it
Dude,
with that
the
pressure
drone
from Cowanzin's drone and
was
the
the
wall going
double
up. Free
rotate
B
after they
site,
cleared middle.
beautifully
They just
mid-rounded
walked
here
over
by Loud.
towards B. It still ended up being a really nice round
They
from
have
Loud.
good utils
They
to
got a
the way,
little
starting
bit
off with the
fortunate because he was about to
Pancata
walk into an
smokes.
op, but
Now they have a Viper orb being thrown towards the spawn. And keep an eye on Cowanzi.
Team stun at
He's
middle?
basically
Was
the
it actually a
player
team
that's
stun?
going to go for that late lurk or stay alive
'Cause,
as long as possible, especially if Loud is able
Mazzino
to
had
go
like
inside the
38
B
seconds
site.
on
Playing
his
so smart, just on the
stun,
outside
so I
of
kind
that
of thought it
road
was
under
him. But
two, so it hits no one. That space is still going to be known as clear, though, as crews start to enter the site, so they have a bit of room to make something work. Just on the other side of the wall is Adverso and
Astra
Vinny
Suck
here.
goes
And that's gonna be
in,
Adverso
smoke on the
falling
spike,
down,
might
the
be a
util to
spam
come
fest.
through to stop the plant, ready for the garage.
Not liking this.
There's the spams,
very,
there's
very
the
nice.
kills.
This is a lovely round from Loud, to be
7-2
honest.
as Loud closed
The,
down
the
on another round.
Teo,
Played
the
too
Teo
far
drone
in the back
created
of the site
so
for
much
Crew.
pressure.
I mean, at first, it continues to be great here from Loud. They went for the salvos and fault line on the first tap, leveraged the grab well on the second
think it
one.
was this
And
stun.
this smoke right here, yeah, it was nice for at least Melzer to try to get into the site for the defuse, but the other two players were just waiting to swing off whoever was
Quick
spraying
Suit, thank you so much for
and
the
try
tier
to
1.
body
Thank you
block
for the
his,
17
their
months.
teammates, but they're just dying to the sprays instead of trying to fight back towards main. It was needed there to give Melzer at least some sort of chance to try to go for that defuse. And now Loud. Are we going to see just one-sided halves every single one of these maps? And it looks to be the case at least on middle.
Mid-fights? Mid-fight straight out. Adverso wants to take that one straight up. And they do get some trades. 2-2. No one too worse for the wear.
Sure.
Here. Health looks almost the same across the board.
I don't want to say too
We
much.
still have this lurk on the right side of Tui and Melzer. Usually has some impact for one of them, but they're going to backpedal off of this just for now as we come up on 1 minute in the round. And B, not looking great for Loud as that ultimate from Viper is down. Shy has already used it to try and direct the hand of Loud this round.
Yeah, a little
And
bit of
this
a
is
gamble
smart
from
play.
Crew,
Yeah, you don't really have
and it
anything to
looks
try to
like it
clear out
might
towards
pay
that
off.
pit that
Right.
Shy let down. You still have your Viper up for Tui, so they could start playing with the up and down walls, but
Oh,
playing
it's
contact
unlucky
seems to be the name of the
timing.
game. Smoke dissipates, and that will just keep Crew guessing. And you can already see it. Crew is guessing on this rotate.
Been nice
and
to
they're
watch
guessing
from
wrong
Loud
back
though.
towards
Like
the
just
middle.
mini-map
Easy
game,
now,
it feels like
open
Loud's
sight
ideas are
for
always
Loud
really
to play
good.
with.
30
Gonna be a
seconds
long
left.
rotation over. See how much space Digizine grabs here. I think they'll just stay in the corner, keep it safe. One more star up there as Pancata needs to figure out where he can get to put that down safely.
Well, he's not falling back,
Or
so
just put it up for cover.
yeah, looks like all three players want to stay within the site and just delay even more on the heaven smoke.
All 3 points covered. The only
It's
thing that we have
done.
to watch now is that screens area as Mazzino gets one
Got a
down.
lovely little
Area
crossfire
comes
from these
through.
two, though.
Pancata in a beautiful spot to trade
Dude,
one.
Pancata
Another
looks
one as he looks
crisp,
for the high
bro.
ground. Shy
He's been
falls in an
great
eighth
today.
round into the hands of Loud.
Another
How many
double
rounds
kill
has it
coming
been
out from
like
Pancata, this
something
time
similar
playing
to
from
this where he
Benji
has to get a
Fishy's
3K or
spot and
something?
gets such
It's
tremendous
2
results
3Ks
out
on
of
this
it.
map.
The paranoia was thrown inside the site,
I
but
feel
not
like
in
there
the
was
line.
a
That
couple
could
on
really
Fracture as
blind
well.
The full back line site. And they should have identified that
Leggings,
from
thank you
Crew's
so much for the
side
tier 1.
because
Thank
they
you,
didn't see
thank
any
you.
pressure coming up from ramp.
And MF Mogo with the tier 1 as well.
So
Thank
that
you
was
so
a
much,
little
bro.
bit of a
Appreciate you.
miscomm here where Melzer could have placed his paranoia to get the best results.
Little
Staying ice
nods.
cold is Pancata.
Dude, he's looking
Yeah, that
great.
look.
He's
Just
looking really,
another
really
day
good.
at the office here, even if on a map 3, even if both maps pressured teams into
The Kesnet
13-2,
Pistol Ace feels like it was 3 maps.
situations,
Dude,
we end up here
they
on split, and it looks
they
like
just gave him
Loud
they just
has
gave
it
him the
ready
anti-eco.
for the long game,
But
and
they really
continue to
messed
open
up.
the strat book from the attack side
That
of
one
split.
round
Yeah.
is just
8-2
like
here, and
completely
they've varied up where
thrown
they're going
everything
just
off
about
game-wise.
every time. Less towards A, but still when they go, it seems strong.
If anything, GB lost the
It's
over-under. We're not gonna get
as
a
much as
13-1, right?
as much as this game is snowballing,
Worst result we
like
can have here is a
if we look at some of
13-2,
these
but
maps,
you're seeing it
there's a
here,
lot
the
of
timeouts being called
mistakes
out
in
from,
like the second or
from
third
Crew,
round,
but it's still 6 rounds
which
that were
just
stringed,
means
strung
that the
across,
rest
sorry,
of
by
the
Loud.
map is
Since I
like
think the first timeout,
you're
if
just
I'm not
fighting
mistaken.
such an uphill battle, and the teams you're
So this
playing
is
against are so
not a
good
look for Crew. They
that
won't have anything to work with
you just can't
on their attack side if
really
it continues to go
claw
downhill.
back from making those mistakes.
And it's a stinger buy.
We had NRG make one on the
things off
third rounds that cost
with
them
a lot of them
the
going
last
back to
map.
the tried and true,
We had
pressuring
Crew
towards this
do theirs on the
A-side
second
fault
round
line
here that
salvo,
cost them
something that
this.
Loud is
Like you
has
can't
done
make
a
these
lot.
mistakes.
So smart. I mean, look at
Teams
the
are just
money
too good.
on the Loud side, it is a lot. Tui still has that outlaw.
Yeah.
Knowing the effectiveness it can bring to the low buy here.
Exactly.
He's just out here one tapping because of
Oh my
tanking
gosh,
damage
he
for his
starts off
wall as well.
immediately with 2 kills that we would expect with that outlaw into a pistol kill.
And a hashtag 1 HP towards the end.
Yeah.
Old school tactical FPS players would know the hashtag 1 HP. That said, though, everybody's thinned across the map for Crew
Outlaw
with the
abusers.
stinger buy.
There's been a good amount of it today as well. Though. Oxy was doing it to good level.
Especially now that
But
Tui's
again,
only
it's just
has
like
1 HP, he can't really move back
you
to
gotta use
re-clear
it
the
in the
spots
game.
unless he gets his team with him.
And if
So
teams are going to be
that
buying
means
light
for
armors
me that
enough,
the
then
utility might be utilized a little bit earlier on the side of Kawadzine to try to clear with the drone. That might be the only silver lining that would allow Crew to avoid that information, or avoid that drone rather, and surprise him with a close range stinger fight.
They have to do something to close the distance.
they're only ever going to get one, though.
Just a stinger shot to the shoulder, all they needed.
I mean, wall goes up
Looks
after
like
the
it's just the 1
contact.
HP, selfless play, get the info. You know the breach is there now.
I like
Wall
the early
goes
walk-off
in,
by Shy. They
forces
tried to
him.
catch him off guard a little bit. South
Whoa.
back towards elbow. Zeno helps. The rotation from Cheyenne has a little bit of time now. And they get some nice trade kills there. Kawadzine gonna plant, gonna hold that in the smoke and then try to get himself to safety. He does have a quick
Super
concuss
doable.
and a drone if he feels like there's any time to use it.
Somehow it's turned around in the advantage of Crew. Kawadzine has to go into clutch now.
He's got good positioning. He's already moved himself off
Smoke
the
on the
spike.
spike means this is an
Making
absolute
sure there's
nightmare.
no trailer for him right now. Oh, it's gonna be from the top side, and that's what
Okay,
they
I mean,
were
honestly, if
waiting
they can
for.
get another
Mel's are
rounds,
very
then maybe,
patient.
but
As
still,
Shy
8
is
on
creating the
attack is-
distraction. They'll go ahead and get that defuse over towards Melzer as well, closer to
Even
the
on
points.
attack is great.
And they're closer to the half, so they know it's going to have to happen that way. 8-3 as Crew bite back with a thrifty, albeit a little late.
And props to Shy to run through.
How do you think it would go,
the
Paper X? Dude,
Armageddon
I'm a
and
Paper X
the
believer,
Salvos to
man,
meet up
so
with his
you're asking the
teammate
wrong
so that they
person.
could work together with, again, closing the gap, leveraging the stinger to the best of its abilities, and getting all of these kills. They anchored up a 2 versus 4 at that spot. Great job being done by Crew on that previous round.
Stop that.
But again, that was
Dude,
just the
it
lack
should be a
of
good meta
utility being used by
for
Loud.
them.
They counted on the contact plate and the trades to get
If they
the
just
best out
use
of Crew.
Teo and sight hits,
And again, that's where
That's so
Crew
fine.
can shine. So they pay for their mistakes. Clues closing the gap, rather. And Kezin has an op to work with. Digisine's first attacker side op in this series that we praise so much during kickoff.
Uh-oh.
I forgot he ops.
Nice cue. Very nice gas ball to get a bubble to get out. And yeah, you
Dude,
actually saw
Tui's
Vinny was just flash
is
jumping to get
dominating
into
A.
mid with
I've
Digit
never
in
seen
there.
a
So they're
Viper
like, where's
get this
mid
many
fight again? They're
first
gonna
kills
give it
on
to us.
attack.
Patiently waited though for Crow. Okay, they give it to him. Never mind. They peek out finally, just as the smoke starts to come down.
Because they already lost at Verso, so at the
Yeah.
minute mark, you can't drone anymore, so you have to go for jiggle peaks, and the patience displayed by Loud was very nice. Again, I'm saying I forgot that Digizine ops on the attack sides, because the whole half and the whole series so far has been a lot of just rifles and dead fights, and like brawls in the very beginning, so this is good here for Loud to bring this out. A little bit of a trump card to potentially close the lead, 9-3.
Nice shot.
Oh, and the ops are ringing true now. And you mentioned Digizin, probably one of the series we see him with an op the least so
Oh,
far.
hold up.
As he just picks it up.
They
So,
go
yeah,
back and
very
it's kind of a
interesting to see
crossfire.
there,
Does
but
Viper
it
decide
comes
to go
out
heaven?
at
Oh
the
man,
right
it's a
time
strong
for both
crossfire.
of them, and looks like Loud goes for A.
Incredible shots, man. That was really, really nice to watch. The Smokes players are kind of just winning big rounds. KRU managed to steal a 3v5 at the end here. There's probably going to be a little bit tilting for Louds, but if you ignore it and you just look at the 8 rounds, you're so confident.
But for Loud, as you've mentioned, they got off down here by Kezen on the
Dude, that's how he got the first kill. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, there was so much respect for Kezen here that they just went back into the crossfire.
Zero information of where their players could be. There was a pinch no matter what. Even if Melzer didn't get a 3K, there was still somebody behind. So great job by KRU.
Honestly, it's an 8-4, but with this series, it is incredibly hard to tell who it's going to be. We're gonna be
How long has Kezen been on
Don't
KRU?
go anywhere. You don't
Dude,
wanna
that's
miss
a
this.
long time. That's a long time. When did we play them, Bacon? 2021? Right? We played them at Champs, right? 2021? He was on them then. Gotta be in the top 3 longest? Yeah, I think so. Might be above. I mean, yeah, dude, he might be one of just the longest. Would you rather play with 4 or have Bacon sub in as your 5th? Wait, what? Yeah, are you asking if I would rather play the game and have Bacon or not have Bacon? That's crazy, dude. What kind of a question is that? That's outrageous.
We hop back into map 3.
Dude, Bacon's got a couple of judge kills in him. I know that much. And he's got some util.
You see it on your screen. We're gonna now watch Kezen.
Put him on Sova. I know someone's getting hit by those recons.
And how the team can protect that. If it's going to be the dash into smoke, if it's going to be the
dropping him up maybe. The cannon out.
These kills with heavy backup and utility over the shoulder. It's one of the questions we'll have.
Would you rather coach a team of 5 Artists or a team of 3 normal players and 2 Bacons? Dude, I loved coaching Artists. Artists was a pleasure to coach.
The second one is just as aggressive from both teams. Here we go.
KRU's waiting for it.
Okay.
4 of them waiting towards that spawn. Early drone
Kezen,
too. That might
raid
actually
boss.
up the tempo
Gotta
of
win
KRU
this.
to start gaining control of the A site, because one of those players that they spotted at top B heaven was the breach.
The streets don't know, yeah. Dude, I didn't lose a game. I didn't lose a best of 3 with
Again,
Artists.
strong anchor.
Artists is a
Has been
beast.
misplayed by Kawatzin. Over towards this A site.
5 of them would
Looks
be
like they
crazy,
will
but
opt to play
you'd
the
have a lot of
retake
fun.
instead and allow KRU to go for the plant.
Ghosts on ghosts here for the side allowed, so they should be able to get
What
some
are you
straight
thinking?
shots in.
Advaso,
Push,
key player?
so that will delay
Feels
what's
like it.
coming down
How
the
late
back
does he
hall from
play?
spawn area.
Looks like he might play
Still got
incredibly
Verso
late.
just outside
As
the
in
site.
so
They are
late that he might not
patiently
even
waiting to see
duel
if
and
he
just play
makes himself
purely
known.
for
Loud's
salvos
waiting a very
last
long
person.
time here. I mean, look at the position
Yeah, he's
of
going
where
to.
Adverso is in the post
Wow, he's
plant.
baiting everyone
Just so
for it.
easy for
Let's
him
see if he
to
wins the
play
rounds.
salvo towards the end while the rest are just delaying.
Here he
They have to
comes.
move quick for Loud.
Fault line comes in, flashes go out.
Dude, they
You see
didn't even
Loud
need
just
him.
looking for positioning,
He
jumping
didn't even
around,
need him.
playing
Didn't even
hop
show his
shots instead of
position.
shooting back, and
Okay,
KRU
this
is able
could
to
get
wipe him
close.
off the map in a flawless pistol round.
Wake up sign with the prime. Thank you for
Well,
the 5
first
months. Thank
taste
you,
now
thank
that
you.
the attempts of retakes is going to be greeted by a lot of players playing in the pulse plant, at least in this pistol. Off angles, nothing to allow for you to clear. No
You see the Mendo's got signed? Yeah, I saw that today on Twitter.
For Loud to
I hope he does
retake
good.
towards that site. It was just easy pickings in the end here for KRU.
Yeah.
Now we'll see the aggression out towards the A side.
Please
Double
don't
initiator
lose
for
an
Decisive to
eco.
move forward. Just to try to get orb control as well, which should be good for Kawatzin.
Damn, we're droning.
Ooh. Pincata sees that, but
Yeah, it's
takes the
hard
moment get
to
the
hard to
flash
lose when you're
home.
playing it like this.
Nicely done with the
Smoke over
utility.
towards
Pincata had no
heaven,
place to
drone
hide.
in, breach util off of it.
Trying to dodge out on that fault line because it's followed by the salvo as we hear screaming overhead.
Who gets
at
all the
just
eco
last
kills?
moment.
Who's getting their
So good at
orbs?
denying this spike plant could give Loud enough time to get back in, but hell is just that for them as they burn
Kind of
as soon
evenly
as they
spread on
drop
this
in.
one. Mazzino half, maybe there's going to be that orb that we see fast on this one.
For Crew.
And they keep all the 4 guns, so it's kind of a 5v5.
Some decent
Loud
weapons
got to
were
be a
purchased in this
little bit
round.
nervous if they lose this.
It's 3 Bulldogs and a Guardian that could carry over to match the full buy that Loud's going to bring out in their gun round. And still will have enough economy to go for a full rifle round in the next round. So you have to be displaying the cleanest defense.
Droning and waiting for
on
the
this
drone,
level if
yeah.
you
We're
wanna
not doing
maintain
anything
this
dumb
lead.
on our
Their range
Antico.
so far has not been the best.
They switch over a gun, they buy a judge and throw the judge to Kesnet. And we got a fast strat with the judge where we smoke close to go into the smoke. Oh, this is cool. Get the gun upgrade, you got middle control in reaction to losing middle. Loud double push over towards B main, but they flash it so they know that they pushed. They know they pushed. Wait, what a kill that is. Big Joe. Big Joe. Oh my goodness.
This might happen. Yes, Kawazin gets the kill, but there's another late lurk coming right here from Melzer.
It's going to be huge. They have to
Weird
pick
round.
apart the rest of the squad
Ooh.
Loud, and Melzer does just that, regaining control of B. Now meeting up with Mazzino in sight, they get a smoke for safety to put themselves back into a position that might be somewhat of an advantage, or at least where they think they have an advantage.
Yeah, and there's already a smoke towards heaven. They have a second smoke if they want to use it. It'll be a perfect way to do it because the salvo's just delayed the plant for Crew's end. So there's that second smoke to allow a safer plant and
Dude,
even
he
a
has
safer
Omen
escape.
flash
Paranoia
still.
at the ready as well for Melzer.
Never gonna feel comfortable to use this Omen flash, right? Just higher,
So yeah, you're
lower.
not going to use this flash anymore. You're just gambling here on the high low.
Pancada
and you know
does
from this
have an
position
Astra
it's
Star.
decent because the salvos were already used by Kawadzin.
One battle star for Pancada actually just puts
There
it
it
out towards
is.
that left side.
Gun goes
He
in,
must
both
miss it
dodged.
because of the high low and the pressure.
Whoa.
That's almost the kill. Kaladzin's able to find it,
Dude,
though. Very
that
nicely
was close though.
coordinated.
One little
Sourcing
stray
out both
bullet
opponents. Loud
would
was
have,
able to come back on
I mean,
that
we'd have to
round
tank
where
2, I
we saw
guess.
Kesnet flying into Mail, getting the first blood.
Hey,
So
no matter what, it was
conversion
a good
for Loud here.
bonus.
It was
The
a great call
2v4
on that
nearly
Battlestar.
worked from
That really
Melzer.
pushed away that high-low position from Loud.
This is
although they
a
weren't
really
affected by
important
the stun.
rounds. There's
It's
literally
still
one person that can
player
buy
out
next
in
if they
the
lose the
slow
round.
on a two-player swing. And right here, just a lack of trigger discipline coming out from Melzer because they never checked that back. They thought it was a crossfire setup from garage and back sight.
Yeah, I mean,
Turns out to be a
celebrating
victory
now,
here for
but
Loud,
let's
but
look at all the money.
Just mentioned it had to be a very clean
So
one.
very, very
Carrying over
important
to this
rounds.
round,
What
they
is
only
this?
have 3 rifles.
Insta drone? Off of the drone we
The
stun
Guardian
send
Outlaw
or
could
no?
maybe do a bit.
Yeah.
As DJZ had the right position in the very beginning to fight the double initiator who are trying to use that util to sell the fake so that Crew could go late into B. But looks like
Isn't it
Pancada
joined
was ready for
crew
that.
March
Already threw up a
2023? Yeah, but
now we'll reset the round
that's
for
when
a
he
bit.
went
We'll
to
start seeing
that's
the
when he
minute
went to
mark
Lev
here,
for a
little
bit.
more initiator util
But
to
he didn't play for
activate
Lev.
the
He
second
just
phase in
he
the
was
mid-round.
benched.
A lot of space.
So I don't know if we include that because he was playing before. He had like a 6-month period where he just sat on the bench for Lev.
That smoke going and actually catches the legs of Adverso, so very nice damage. But they still, it's got to be Loud having a bit of trouble figuring out where these plays are going to come from.
And dropping in the vents, trying to make some noise. Now the orb being picked towards the B side is going to be called out by the lurk of Shy. And Crew's looking to re-hit towards B, but there's a Bermuda Triangle set up by Loud.
Counts in all.
Forceful through.
I can't feel comfy yet.
Actually, they're all going to try to drop out
Oh.
again. They don't have main control. This is just
Oh, it's a
how
pretty
the
good
last
ult.
round happened. Loud trading now with Pancada, getting the last 2, the best of it so far. Last round
Whoa.
happened.
Okay,
Loud
it's all good. It's all good,
trading
chat.
now with
It's just a
Pancada, getting the
live
last
replay
2,
of
the best of it
Pancada's
so far.
double kill.
And that 4v3 is going to slow down for just a moment. Mazzino in sight, though. And that's
Damn,
Kaladzin's
bro, look
actually
at him
able to
go.
trade 2, flicks back to Mazzino and still gets that one as they know Shy again.
Look at him go,
is
man.
going to be trying to come from that B main area.
Man,
And those were
Pancada's
such
been
important
so
kills by
good.
Pancada at the very beginning.
So
'Cause not only
good.
does he get a double kill and weakens down the numbers of Crew in towards the B
we
side.
re-
But he
do we
also
fast forward
dropped
this for a little bit?
the
We'll
flank
fast forward
on
this for a
top
little
of the
bit.
And everybody dropped inside the site, so there's no choice here for Crew but to fight back to at least clear out the B site. but that will definitely give enough time for the rotates to happen, the what ifs, right? So again, beautifully done by Pankata.
And we saw in sight there, Loud. They have to be thinking we have a great chance to win this.
Pankata, what are we thinking, chat? Like 3 rounds already on this map. I feel like it's down to him.
They're almost dropping in just looking for the trades, and that is easy to retaliate against.
Yeah, you want to add another one? 4 rounds? Man, he's playing so good.
Never expected there was going to be a second player just closing the gap, closing the space of where they could dash in. And that's what we're talking about. Double initiator utility to support the jet to move through, and it's just going to be a selfless play. That said, though, you're supposed to draw some players in the process, and unfortunately, he got snuffed right away. And that's not going to leave too much left for KRU to convert this round, unless Loud overextends, just like we currently see Vinny back towards that spawn.
Exactly. I think Vinny has the team more himself.
Looking like a Loud closeout. I mean, KRU have to win the next round. But honestly, I think I'm just avoided Pankata. Like, I think I'm just accepting that he's got B unlocked.
Still finding the backs of some of Loud. Pankata is trying to figure out where he is. Oh, he knows.
Oh, he knows.
He knows.
It's mind games.
Is that my bad?
Not gonna matter.
Maybe.
The stingers are coming up huge.
You got ult to pick up the spike.
All right, where is the spike?
Exactly. Down, TP'd, good.
Oh my God, Shaw.
No way, they're gonna lose this round. The 3v5 and they expect a stinger.
It is now up to Vinny here. Already had the push. I was saying Loud knows where KRU is coming from, but it doesn't matter at this point. They're gonna hit their shots.
Started off so well, though, with Loud, avoiding the fault line on the top of the balcony to get the first pick and drop the spike, but then everything else that followed. It wasn't necessarily overextension, but we'll hold that thought. Vinny's trying to actually commit into the retake.
Smoke after the smoke. Now has to clear through this. Time already dwindling. One shot comes up clean. The break. Oh, the stop.
Sure, I mean the damage is kind of nice, but they force him down to an eco. That's a devastating round for Loud. I thought the round was just done, to be honest. 3v5. They had no map control. They had to force through middle. On the Jules in middle, and then Shy cleans up on B.
But there was the Viper Orb that allowed Shy to sneak through on the left side, be out of the vision of Pankata, and get the backstab kill on to Decisive.
To force him down to an eco as well.
The rest of, I mean, the last 2 players of KRU
That's rough.
come out with a phenomenal 2v4
tech boss
towards the end. And somehow a 2v4 that was all capitalized by Shy.
You're right. I think that's one of the biggest things is with the way KRU is now playing, we saw Loud bring a conversion round back very nicely where Kesnet dashed into mailroom, got that judge kill. They started to go crazy, but I think maybe KRU identified in that they create a distraction in Loud. There's a bit of chaos where the windows we can work through, and like you mentioned, Loud not communicating that window the next round is the one
How is
Shy
NRG
takes
doing?
advantage of. In an
Better.
incredible way with those stingers. Can never count them out. We are going to get a quick
Definitely
pause on
better.
stage as we get a monitor fixed up. Thank you for your
Feel
patience,
like
and right back into
the
the
fracture
game.
worries me, and they made a small but costly mistake
We should be good to go in any moment. So thankfully, not going to be a long tech pause. And as I say that, I'm going to regret it potentially.
Yeah, don't regret it.
But we're going in.
Calzical with the tier 1, thank you
good.
so much for the 11 months, thank you. And Trump's accountant with the Prime, thank you for the 13 months, thank you so much for that.
Lead by 3 when KRU is starting to find success on their attack side, but not on good plays. And
any other maps with no Sentinel comps work? I don't mind.
To be a lot of hero plays for it to happen. There was only really the pistol round that was the cleanest so far of KRU on the attack.
Seen a bit different play with this Viper Orb as well. A while back, we would see Viper throw that to the front side of B, use wall a bit, always be a nuisance, and now the Viper Orb kind of sits on that ledge of the catwalk right outside B. You can see it as Tejo's walking over to it right now, Kawanzine.
Yeah, right now I'm just looking at Loud's position on the defense. The fault line's being set up by Vinny to try to help Decisive, but it's off Decisive's
hardcore, man.
So he could still get smothered out if
strong legs. It's crazy they can one jump that box.
Play, so I'm not too keen with the setup. Although you're seeing here
Where's
the
the Bucky
position
at?
on the B side just to try to close
Bucky
that gap
close
before
B.
keeping played by Kawadzine over towards B. So you're just trying. I mean, TP was probably heard. Or a wall came up on the attack that allowed the lurk through from Melzer.
Some unlucky timing right there.
And now you hear the TP back.
Okay, so the focus is going to be on the next
once
round.
again, because KRU has been grouped up towards the A site, and they will
Can Advaso get his ult?
where it's weak.
I think they were almost going to call for a fault line when Melzer took that shot too. So really, KRU just playing ahead of the
And then
strategy
Vinny's gonna be
allowed. We
2
saw
away.
some pings there at the A alt orb area.
Yeah, dude, this is
But
going
it
to get
was too
really
late,
close, because
and
you would
too
imagine
great by
the KRU win the next buy round just purely because of ults, unless we see a
And this is gonna
mad
be a low
retake
buy
Astro
retake
ult.
here for Loud.
I would
Because
respect
Druid
here
is
if
going to have
Louder play
Breach ult to
further
get
back
sight.
just to draw,
Viper
draw
ult
up to
for
the
after
spike,
plan.
because Adverso's getting very close to his ult. Although 3 others have very strong ults on the side of KRU.
Watching Pacific today? Yeah, we're going to
Just trying
sleep for a
delay
little bit
at
and
least the
we'll watch
other
Pacific.
ults rather.
They're going for those ults.
Yeah, to pop up as soon as possible. So they are allowing Adverso to move up. That's why he's leading the charge.
So where's my next orb? They'll find another one in spawn. That should be Kaznitz. That's actually already blades up anyways.
Look at the ult.
Gets it either way. A little painful on that one. Kaznitz going down to the spike in the end. They feel good about that.
Okay.
Though. 8 to 10 now as they start
This is the one.
closing that gap.
That's the
2
thing.
rounds, they
And
lose
Loud does a
bonus,
timeout
and
for this
of the
one.
gun rounds.
The good
And
news
then
for
KRU
Loud
seem
is
to figure out that this aggression
big
is
win
getting in the
condition for
face
them
of
is getting
Loud,
DGs in the
not
op.
giving them any time to retaliate. Oh, jumping out of position. Yeah, the fault line was just a little late there, you saw.
But that's what I'm saying. Even if Decisive, I mean, he got caught repositioning, right? But if he was still playing down towards the orb and he gets contacted,
Peak still.
exactly, he could still lose his position, lose his life. There's still a fault line that's going to come out, but how do you counteract that?
Yeah.
There's nothing you could take on top of that. So Loud definitely needs to add a little bit more layers into how they could support
teams you think
or
qualified
activate
to
around the
Toronto
initiator
from
plays.
Pacific.
And it feels like they're starting to feel. It feels like Loud senses
I
that
don't know.
crew's creeping up towards them. So you
I
hear
don't know.
and you see the target being called by Loud.
I mean, the obvious
No,
is
I do like
T1,
that. I
Gen
think
G,
Loud,
DRX.
with having the double initiator
But
comp, they're kind of trying to figure out if they can dry peek before using.
got a
any
lot
that,
of
right?
upset
Before
potential
sourcing the
teams.
info. And they don't have a lot of info that's going to say, hey, someone's there except for the drone. So you can see the reason they're doing it. They're just getting caught out each time, unfortunately. KRU is, again, the aggression puts them in the right
Career
spot
on
at the
top.
right time. We'll see
I
that
mean, they are
aggression
the kind of
focusing
they are
towards
the kind of
A
best
side
teams.
now.
I wonder how
So they're
good
gonna fall
Talon are
line
gonna look.
right up that ramp and try to get there quick.
Timeout also is to.
I think Talon got an upgrade. It's just if they look good straight away.
That purchase this round, getting ready to get to be set up here to close that line up towards Long B. But that said, all of KRU are looking to explode towards A.
Right up there. Pedal to the metal here for Kaznitz. Somehow Melzer follows at the same speed, says I got your back up.
Yeah,
And
drone's
now they
gonna
have
spot
A ramp,
no
which
one on
becomes a
site.
bit of a predicament if you don't have anywhere to go. The Rolling Thunder should clear the way though as they get the pressure into sight here. Both smokes are down. They got to use this Omen window to get that space.
Okay, where
They'll get
does
a plan
Viper
for
ult go?
Heaven.
Covers all the spawn. Oh, they don't have anyone here. This might be a mistake from KRU. They actually have to take
Very big
spawn.
round of just fundamentals there. Fault line to gain space in the beginning, Rolling Thunder to gain sight, and now
I
it's up to
think
Loud
this is
to
gonna get
pour
rough
in the
for
utility
KRU.
to
Let's
get back
see.
in. Remember,
Depends
having
on
that
these
pit
two on
allows them to
site.
get a little closer, but who in sight is gonna stop Loud from doing that from KRU?
Oh, you gotta make a move. Okay. I like the idea here. They stunned into Teo damage. They've delayed a lot. No, they're saving. Oh, that's huge.
They're pulling back.
It looks like they're going to be saving on this one. They're not even close to the site. Spike's going to go off soon, so it's going to be the kill. And there's a lot of money for KRU here, so it's not just to take guns away, it's just to hide and see if they don't go down.
If you already wanted to,
Oh,
my God,
my.
thankfully he gets that kill.
That
'Cause you look at
classic
the
kill
amount of
is
economy of money
everything,
that's
no?
left. At this point, I'm wondering what is being called by the IGL. What is Vinny saying to the team? Because if the decision was already to fall back on a 5v5 when the delay was good from KRU with the Armageddon and any other initiator util that is still up for the post plan, you might as well just fully fall back and not get caught in these moments
Yeah,
where
it's true.
they're going to push against you. You already
Now
know
they're
they're
gonna
going to
do
push
this
towards that
stuff.
spawn because
Right.
the pit is there.
I think the late identify was that everybody, if it worked out, would have been coming from ramp. Would have been coming in, they can throw everything towards screens and fight the site horizontally instead of vertically like they were trying to. That just did not work for them. But credit to KRU. They're continuing to get through these rounds. That a very meat and potatoes round, if you will, is the fundamentals were fantastic.
I think that was spaghetti.
A little spaghetti from out, but you know, your meat and potatoes is the whole meal. You got to get your main course in there. And we see put pressure towards mid here from KRU. Still that lurk in from Shy towards the left side, trying to watch in if anybody pushes.
There's a solid amount of spam that went down on this Pancada there, survived on 33 HP.
Give a little util. KRU slows this round down.
And thankfully,
it's another MTA site, but this time they have a lot more odds to retake this.
The only one anchoring towards that site where the pressure is coming from. He's trying to delay as much as he could to allow at least a start of a rotate to happen.
Yeah, and they have such early info over towards B. This looks really hard for KRU.
Potentially using a rolling thunder to delay one more time. But there's no active rotates coming out from Loud because of the lack of information that they have here.
I think one of the things, they're so ready to stop it, which is never bad. But what follows up on the fault line? KRU is so happy to see this and say, cool, we'll do something in a moment. And there's Shy just pushing Cowanzine.
And now they don't have the rolling thunder to delay. Oh my god, and they get picked off.
Just absolutely walking over Loud right now.
What is that? Ah, dude. No, man. Vinny messed up, bro. The breach all just random from A. You gotta wait for the util there.
That's the paint shells I wanted to see on the previous round to help the retake.
Oh, dude, that's a devastating round for Loud.
A disadvantage scenario.
Yeah, two of them come by as well.
Plays, and now KRU definitely taking the stronghold of their attacks. Are tying up the game now in this series 10-10. So now we're all wrong.
Way too early in the breach ult. Yeah, it was off no util again. There's been a couple of them in this game.
But so many mistakes coming out from Loud, feeling this pressure.
Yeah.
I think they might have one more timeout in hand.
And City's not wrong there.
But KRU definitely has full control.
In showing us a spicy attack now.
Oh, last Sunday Rose? That was a great question for Cam. Dude, maybe even Christmas time.
The aggression following up Kesnet and this having Kesnet go balls to the wall right now in the face of Loud. They are going to go towards B main, still a bit split before Kesnet joins them, but he did grab the op, so we see how they slow the round down by giving him that main gun.
And Decisive has a bolt action, so working with the Guardian, trying to use that as a mini op, while the rest of them are going for a half buy to be able to.
Dude, the drone's getting so much info, no one on site. It gets a little bit harder for KRU here because the op means the Kesnet's not going in fast. So shout out to Adverso here, man. He's really tanking it. He's really doing the duelist duties. Oh my god. There's no way. There is no way, dude. He had to dash to get out of there. We got to see the Nuff come in, and he doesn't dash that far, but he's just out here right-clicking mid-air.
The man has an operator, dashes into sight to get the 2 right clicks.
I guess we're getting spaghetti for dessert, too.
Fearless, absolutely.
And this is what I'm talking about. You're trying to retake
Jorgamo kind of move.
Mate,
that's wild.
But
the mad thing is, if he doesn't get both of those kills, they lose the round.
It should have been identified here that there's got to be some sort of work towards
like the Teo ult from Cowanzine was actually kind of unreal. Had so many people that it was getting.
About the differences between the duels here, the duelists rather here, Riv, where Kesnet is not going to have that extra paint shells to help around the double initiator, where the raise could be a key component.
Tell you what though, we finally got that close map we wanted.
Retakes, but Loud has not been synergized in these team retakes. And Cowanzine falls to the spike. That's the silver lining to not allow Mazzino to get close to his own rolling thunder.
Nice timing by Kesnet too to get out.
Dude, show me this again.
To 10 now. KRU take the lead on split.
And the stun, dude, the stun just stops him. The stun stopped him and saved him at the same time because they stunned both. Stunned both, but also stunned Kesnet.
2 rounds away for KRU to solidify this one. And it looks like we will get another Loud timeout. Your last one to deliver information to the team, reset the mental, and prepare them for what could be taking it or a very possible overtime.
Yeah. Both teams definitely showing a that they were much more comfortable playing the attack side.
Yeah.
Both teams saving their timeouts
Oh,
for
man,
the
this
defensive
would
end.
be a devastating loss for
But
Loud.
KRU, I mean, that there's
This
been
was
a
actually
lot
theirs.
of, not necessarily a lot of shenanigans, but a lot of different looks that they were doing. The first shenanigan that we just saw, the fault line dash to right-click classics, is probably unheard of and unattended for, and definitely Loud were not ready for that. But when you're looking at how KRU has been very good into the post-plant scenario, staying within the site exactly. The delays that they're using for util is basically not to allow Loud to get into the site. Right, so
Okay, I mean, they still have the win condition gun, but he hasn't been able to find anything with ARP.
It's just not working for him.
They kind of just dodged
we're hoping
him.
that the timeout will be able to fix that up for Loud. They have a pit. They could start
So they
closing things up
successfully
very early.
dodged
It
him
seems
twice
as
when
though
he's
it
had the
will be
ARP, right?
case.
Maybe even
He's
3
already down
times.
towards Mail. So they could pop that right away and work the extremities and try to get value out of Digizine's off.
They go for this buy. Could be one of their final ones. It's going to be a low buy as we come into the
They
next
might
one.
just
So they
walk over
plan
towards
to
a free
keep
side on
KRU
A here.
off of that 12th point. Pick goes down immediately here to try and dictate the hand of KRU where they might be able to go.
Big stun.
They're really good Omen flash. Oh my god, did he?
Doesn't flash across just yet, but the team is going to try to pressure this together as they have a ramp control. But Kesnet's not here yet.
Do they have a feeling that no one's playing site? Yeah, they do. They got a good read on it. They got a really good read on it. They just entered site without a duelist. And that is mad from Advasto, but he's got away with it.
Straight across from Altor down
Can't believe he
after
pushed the
watching
smoke
Sewers, so
there.
They know anybody that drops into site is going to be protected, but they don't even need that yet. 4 it screens. This is going to be huge if they can get out. That's going to be big. Brings them down to 6, though. A lot of damage back onto Digizive from that. Mazzino and Shy bringing up 2 right there. They're looking to get
he
another
got a
point right now.
fud,
Game
bro.
point in their eyes.
He got a fud. Dude, he got a 4th.
To lock it down.
Oh my goodness, that's some lovely shots from Shy.
As the crowd erupts for Super Shy.
That is some lovely shots, man. Let's see it.
But again, another one.
This is 2-tapping everyone.
That there was through the timeout a conversation to say
mate.
how can we leverage and help Digizine get into the site with the showstopper. But because KRU keeps playing within that site in itself, they also took advantage of being honest.
Okay, 2 chances. Dude, this is what a devastating half this is for Loud. Look at that.
Back towards that site and putting themselves in this position to get the lead out of this grudge match between KRU and Loud. Both of them tied 1-1 so far.
KRU is just playing everything so fast. You're not
Everyone
seeing
can
any
get
fault
one
line
shot from this as
setups
well.
that Loud's trying to play off of in the aggression in the beginning. And
Man,
as well,
I feel
that's
sorry for
definitely not gonna
DG's
happen
in.
site if the
No joke.
communication
He
isn't
got the
there
op
from
out
the
and he never
get-go.
got to
And
find
we're just seeing
anyone.
it fall apart inside the site. Here it
Oh,
is
the
once again.
Omen flash is
KRU
incredible.
dismantling Loud.
Holy,
No
I feel
protection
bad
for
for
the line to
Loud.
be able to cover each other, and
It
the
was
site's
nicely
wide
done
open
from
and big.
KRU, and they get away with their mistake on the second round. Honestly, I feel pretty bad for Pancada as well. He had a really good map.
Incredible comeback here from KRU to keep it strong and keep the consistency from the second half. Pistol only losing a few rounds, but now they look to take the series with the last 3 kills onto Loud as they enter the site.
God, it's a devastating loss for Loud. One's going to feel rough.
With the Guardian trying to finalize a few kills as Vinny does get one of those onto Mazzino, but KRU is trading back even harder.
Really nice, man. Fair play. Fair play to KRU. They managed to pull that one back. Was it 8-4 half? Okay, we got a close map though. That was what we wanted. We got a close map. At least one of my pick'ems is right as well as that. I just feel bad for Loud here. They should have won this.
Enough here for Loud to not get the best value as soon as they come out with an operator.